The double today.
Yeah, what?
Wow.
You work Monday through Friday and Saturday as well, correct? You do
Yeah,
a special show on
Saturday
Saturday?
is more of a Planet Rock years. It's a look back at 2 featured years. But yeah, I get a lay-in on a Saturday, which is good.
Yeah, okay, very cool.
And Planet Rock it's a harder edge station than you're going to find of others in the country, correct?
We're the only national rock station, so we broadcast nationwide on DAB, so obviously digital audio broadcasting here in the UK, which is getting bigger and bigger all the time. Planet Rock's been in existence virtually 20 years now. So, you know, for a while it wasn't like the States, whereby you guys had lots of rock stations.
Yeah.
We didn't. We had sort of independent stations, and on a pop station, when I started, 34 years ago, it was, you got a 3-hour shift on a pop station when they didn't have an audience. So you had regional stations doing rock shows and one national pop station that had a Friday rock show, which was a 2-hour show. That was it. That was the outlet for rock.
They would shoehorn in rock features into other formats.
Yeah.
Okay, and now, but this is straight up a rock format. And it's very similar, as I was looking to a lot of what you play, it is MMR. It's a lot of what we do, and what we would call, we're an active rock station,
Yep.
which means we play new and old, and I don't know how you refer to that here.
Yeah, we do pretty much the same. I mean, we played initially, I think, with previous owners, we played purely classic rock. So it was Led Zeppelin, it was Deep Purple, it was all the old favorites, which is great. But unless you play some of the newer rock, like we say, where are the classic rock bands of tomorrow coming from? You've got to give them a chance. You know, you've got to introduce the headliners of tomorrow. Because without these guys, I mean, let's be fair, a lot of these older boys now, you know, they're popping off, they're retiring, they can't do it anymore.
Right.
So you've got to give an outlet for some of the newer stuff as well.
Yeah. What do you think about Greta Van Fleet bringing back that Led Zeppelin sound?
Wow. Well, in the UK, in literally a matter of a week's time, bear in mind, the first album isn't out yet. They've sold 3 nights of the Forum already.
Does that blow your mind? They had not even had, so we were watching this, and they came out of nowhere. And then you would have thought they had been around for decades. They were the fervor over this band. When we say it's not, you know, they're not ripping off the sound. Their sound happens to be an homage, or at least in the vein of. But it's clear they can write music, and they're good performers. But it's just an amazing thing to see that before one album, a full album, is released.
The weird thing as well is everybody's getting behind Greta Van Fleet, and there's always this Led Zeppelin connection, and yet you may remember a few years ago, Kingdom Come, for example.
I remember Kingdom Come, absolutely.
Kingdom Come was slated for sounding like Led Zeppelin, whereas this time around, it's completely done full circle.
Yeah, there was a time, and Great White had a little bit of a Led Zeppelin sound to them. They went a different direction. Poppy with their rock, but I remember when Kingdom Come came out, and you guys I don't think you remember Kingdom Come, but when I was in a band at the time, that came out and we're like, oh my God, this is the next
Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, but it didn't last very long for those guys.
I saw a thing in the press, and it was something along the lines of, Greta Van Fleet's debut album is the best Led Zeppelin album since Kingdom Come. Which kind of
Yeah.
I want to point out for you, if you can't see, but Paul is the way he's dressed. He is London's Jackie Bam Bam.
Yes.
Yeah.
You look like rock.
Well,
we have our nighttime disc jockey, Jackie Bam Bam. He lives the rock lifestyle, not unlike you do. I can tell by your dress because you've got an Iron Maiden jacket on, and you definitely live the music.
You have to. I mean, you can't do a show on a rock station without knowing the stuff, being into the stuff, because you rumble straight away. I mean, we have stations that we call in the UK Bland FM, where it's just a guy sitting there playing music, being told what to say, not into the music at all. And if somebody's listening to that and all of a sudden they change format, they don't notice. It's audio wallpaper.
Yeah.
What we do, people don't just listen to everything we play, they listen and hang on your every word because you're an authority on the music.
Now, he was telling me something, Steve, when we were in the break. Paul was saying, he goes, they do have, and I thought that was opposite of this, as far as their restrictions on language and so forth. It's more restrictive than what we are.
Is that right? We thought you got away with murder over here.
No,
I mean, we get away with murder. We just finesse it by using double entendre and other words. In fact, in many ways, it ends up being worse than the actual words themselves, but it's what we do.
Well, listening to the last sort of 25, 30 minutes of your show here, I'm going, we'd never get away with that. We'd never get away with that. We'd never...
Okay.
Seriously.
And it hasn't even been that bad.
Then how can you explain the television show Naked Attraction over here if you're not allowed to get away with anything, and I'm looking at foreskin hanging all over the place? Have you guys watched this TV?
You were telling me about it, yeah.
God!
Really?
Yes, I think I've talked about it on the air. It's been around for a while.
The reason they get away with it, they have the 10 p.m. watershed.
Okay.
Yes, they call it safe harbor in,
Yeah.
in the States.
So-
and it's the same thing. So it's a little bit more lax in what the restrictions are.
Let me describe Kathy so you get an idea for it. It's a dating show. Okay, so one suitor, five or six potential people that you may want to have a date with, and they start off with 6 boxes. These people are inside these colored boxes. You can't see them, and the first time they meet them, they raise the box up about to the belly button, and they are 100% totally uncensored, full on naked. And London has a lot of foreskin. I do want to tell you that.
And the guys,
Tons
too.
Of foreskin, and the guys too. No, but same thing with the women. They don't have foreskin,
Yeah,
but they're totally 100% naked, and then they have to eliminate someone, and then next they bring it up to the neck, so you see the boobs, you see everything else, that part of the body, and then they have to eliminate. And these people don't talk at all. They don't say
Wow.
strictly
It's-
on what they look like naked.
It's basically like our password.
It's
the same thing.
Hilarious.
What?
We were cracking up. And
What
they-
channel is this on?
I don't know. Do you have any idea, Paul?
Channel
Wait,
4, I think.
Channel
it is.
4,
Yeah.
BBC 4. So, and they also had a binary contestant. So that's somebody who can identify with either male or female. So their variety to choose from were people that were in the middle of transition. And
my God.
Steve, you mentioned the man in the boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
This
All
one
right.
was in the process to becoming.
He was on the wharf waiting.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just, we loved it. It was awesome.
What is
So-
this
so
on? I have
will-
to check it out before I leave.
Well, let me ask you, for radio, pertaining to you, does that happen after 10 o'clock? Are the rules restricted? Or is it, because ultimately...
It's still frowned upon. I mean,
Yeah.
we're governed by Ofcom, who basically, I mean, in recent years, it's changed. I mean, when I started out, I could still play certain songs with swears in that nobody really actually gave a damn about.
Yeah.
Whereas now, even the classic songs, like a Black Sabbath, it's
Yeah.
all reversed.
Oh, okay.
No
We can't-
kidding.
We have a few of those, yeah.
So a lot of those songs, when it's not even really a heavy swear, as we would say, the governing body actually has a list of strong swears right the way down. And what happens is, if a radio station, somebody has one complaint against them, the radio station's fined. If they have a number of complaints against them, then they can revoke the license.
The license. So it's basically the same process. In the States, believe it or not, George Carlin's original, the comedian, George Carlin's list of 7 words you can't say on TV is basically what the FCC adopted as the list of words we can't say. And it's kind of stayed that way for a while.
Paul, being the national rock station, you get to meet a lot of the biggies as far as rock stars and so forth.
I mean, it goes without saying that obviously what we do, there's very few people actually doing it. So if they want to get out there to a bigger crowd, then they're going to come to us. Plus, of course, we get involved in a lot of the big gigs as well. We promote our own gigs. So, it's like in rock, everybody helps each other. We get out there and promote the bands, and they in turn promote us. So
Right.
it's a two-way street.
So there are a number of artists that still live here, but a lot of the artists have moved to the States as well. And so who locally do you see a lot coming into the station? Do you have relationships with of the more legendary classic status?
Yeah, I mean, we had Brian May from Queen about a week ago.
Oh, man.
Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. Just the local boys.
You
There's
know,
a
couple
we called those people.
Well, we had
They
Brian
didn't
May
want to come
in.
by the W Hotel
They
today.
didn't want to come by today. We had Brian May. Yeah, a
we had
while
Brian
ago.
May in the studio. He was a sweetheart. He was just
He's
super
brilliant.
nice.
He's absolutely great. And again, he loves it. He lives it.
Did you see the Queen movie?
I did, yeah.
And Preston
saw
loved
it.
it. What did you think of it?
I thought it was great. There was a few chronological issues. I would
Absolutely,
say.
yeah.
And there was a few, I mean, you guys will notice with all the equipment here, there was a few sort of equipment issues going on whereby it was supposed to be in a particular year and that kind of equipment wasn't around in
Right, right.
Yeah.
But in terms of what it's all about, I mean, I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good because it kind of gets so many different emotions going on there, from obviously the early days of the band through Freddie's illness. Ultimately, the whole bit I thought was great. I thought it was done really, really tastefully.
Yeah, I saw the same thing I'm like, okay, this press conference wouldn't have happened at that time, and they wouldn't be talking about this and that. But in a biopic, you have to kind of let some of that stuff go because you're talking about, years and years and years of a story, and they got to shortcut it. But eventually, when it got to the Live Aid performance, I bought it 100%. They looked like it was Queen on
Absolutely,
stage
yeah.
at the concert. It was amazing.
Looking at the station's website, you have, I guess you have a syndicated show with Alice Cooper that airs as well, and you have, is Joe Elliott occasionally
Joe
on?
does a show every Saturday. Yeah, he's been
cool.
doing. I think he's done about 300-400 shows for us now. He does it every Saturday. So
Does he do it from his home or does he come into the
he
studios?
does it from his home or wherever he is on tour. He'll record the show for us. He's a huge fan of what we do, and what he gets to do as well is he's got just a vast record collection. So he's not being told what to play like most of us aren't, but he's actually literally taking stuff from his own record collection. He's got so many rarities in his record collection.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's got the stories to go with it as well because he's been there, done it, and got all the T-shirts. So.
Well, over the years, we've had a lot of great people in our studios, and several times they come in to perform. These gentlemen that are sitting next to you have done it a couple of times, and we love them. So Casey made some calls and made sure that we had a visit by some members of the band Nothing But Thieves. We'd like to welcome Joe and Dom here this morning.
Hello.
Gentlemen, good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
It's strange not to see you in our studio.
I know. And you've landed on your feet in one of the hotels in London.
Yeah.
How about that?
Under the biggest disco ball in the world.
I know.
Yeah.
Be careful.
I know. My room is literally above that disco ball.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's wonderful.
It makes you think of what the Jolly Green Giants urologist has to see all the time.
Yeah.
We're still discussing our production for our shows at the end of the year, and I think I've just
You're gonna
had
go
a
with this
bra-
ball?
Yeah. I don't think it's lavish enough.
This is, it's the biggest I've ever seen.
Wow. Dom, where are you guys? Where do you reside? You live in London?
Yeah, we literally live like 30 minutes away in like East London.
Okay.
We've got a nice little house together.
And what's the status of the band right now? Just are you?
Well, basically, we just got back from your beautiful, unnecessarily big country touring that,
Yes.
and we decided that we were going to take a few weeks off before we go to Europe, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
And
Were you going to Spain first?
we're going to Spain first. It's just us two today because Connor's in Thailand with elephants and doing yoga and stuff. So we thought we'd come and see you.
Can elephants actually do yoga? I had no idea.
They can. Yeah, they're very flexible. You should see what they do with the
So
trunk. It's very, very namaste.
It's very nice.
Who's he out there with?
He's gone with his lovely girlfriend, actually. Yeah, it's nice. We rarely get time off, so we've kind of all family. And
Let me
stuff
ask you,
like that.
because in the States, obviously, the British rock star, that's just, everyone's, wow, it's a big thing. Are you just part of the furniture here in London, or is it, do you feel lost in the sauce?
We're the disco ball.
You're the disco ball.
Yeah.
You're that big and glittery.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
You're
cool.
part of the furniture, but you do stand out a little bit. is what you're
Exactly.
saying, okay.
Well,
We do all right, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a context thing. If you're by yourself, no one really
Right.
cares, no one recognises you. But if you're walking around as a band, wearing your whole stage outfit, sometimes we carry our instruments to get recognised. I'll be
That
walking
helps.
around Oxford Street with a guitar,
And when you're
just
wearing-
praying that someone gives me recognition.
in your
and
nothing
even
but
then it
these
doesn't work.
T-shirts, yeah.
well, here's the thing. You talk about you take big entertainment cities like New York or Los Angeles or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a music scene in each one of those. There's a music scene in every major city.
Yes.
Once you are, and I'm sure you guys were part of the London music scene. Then you get a record contract. Then you start to go. You tour. You get out of it. Are you still a part of the London music scene per se?
Well, we're from Essex.
Okay.
So we had the South End music scene.
Okay.
And there's an amazing venue called Chinnery's there. And like rehearsal spaces. And a load of bands have come through there. There's a band called The Horrors. I don't know if you know them. They're from South End.
We just kind of like try as soon as we could play gigs, we would. And as soon as you made it to London, which was only like an hour down the road, you felt sort of like you've achieved something.
Yeah.
And then outside of London, when you get to Birmingham or Manchester, that felt like another achievement. So I think for us, it was just trying to get to as many places early on. And yeah, there definitely was a scene for young bands, and there still is. I think there's a lot of opportunities to be playing.
So we have the classic, the garage band is where you're actually practicing in the garage of a house.
We
and
were
so-
that.
Yeah,
we,
That was
that
you,
was
yeah,
where we were
yeah.
at, yeah.
But it's cool. So it relates in the States, from the suburbs into the city, and a lot of people want to get in there. From here, how important is the jump to the United States to any band that's here in England, and other bands that you've encountered? I assume it's a critical element, but how important is it, out of the gate?
It's important, but it's difficult. It's so expensive for us.
Yes.
It's notoriously difficult, I think. If you look at bands like Oasis, who eventually are just like, no, this is too big.
Yeah.
It's taking too long.
Yeah.
I'm staying in.
And there are bands here that, like bands like Biffy Clyro and Kasabian, that will headline some of the biggest festivals in the UK and around the rest of the world, but when they go to the US, it's not, they're not at the same level. And for us, it was always, as soon as we could, which we were given an opportunity to do, we had a record label that were helping us fund it. We were touring round in the van, and we were just trying to keep like refreshing our sort of presence there.
Yeah.
And building off, going from 50 people to 80 to 200, you know what I mean? Just building it up.
Sure.
So that's like very much with Blackstone Cherry, a classic example. Over here, they're massive. I mean, they're playing arenas, they sell out arenas, they headlined Download Second Stage twice, Ramblin' Man Fair, they played under Guns N' Roses at Download last year. Massive audience, and yet in the States they go back, they play to 200 or 300 people.
Yeah, I mean, we played them, and we have played them, and it didn't take the same way. In fact, I was listening to you this morning, and you were playing Blackstone Cherry, and I'm like, why are we not playing this song? It's a good song. And so I don't know why that is. I have a friend who is from Manchester, and she loves James, right? Yeah. The only song we play from James is Laid. I couldn't tell.
From years ago.
And she's been to a ton of James concerts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we just know the one song, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask all three of you guys, actually, favorite places to play in London and favorite places to see a show?
Both the same for me, Brixton Academy.
Yeah,
it's,
I was about to say
it's
Brixton.
iconic.
I don't know what that means.
It's a huge. It's in South London. It's a huge theatre. It's about 5,000 people, and it was actually when we first started the band, we were very much like DIY promo because we couldn't afford to pay anyone to do online press for us or anything like that. So we were going to gigs at Brixton and we were handing out flyers and handing out like self-printed CDs that were just being used as frisbees. Like it was so so demoralising after the
string
show,
coasters.
just seeing them scattered. Or like
Tried
round the tube
really
station.
hard on
Yeah, we
that.
worked really hard. And but this was at Brixton, and about it must have been what 2 years ago now, something like that.
Longer than that.
Yeah,
Or-
to play.
Oh, to play it, yeah,
we finally got
yeah.
to play and headline, and we managed to sell it out. And it was a really weird sort of moment. Our name being on the front, it's got a big sort of like one of those sort of lit up boards, and it had our name sold
So
out.
you both agree that's the playing and 10 shows at it.
It's also got this like slope for the audience as well, so you can kind of.
If you're small.
Everyone like it's good
It's
view.
great for dwarfs.
So somebody like
Yep.
me would enjoy it. Okay.
But I think, and Paul, going back to, you saw the Bohemian Rhapsody film, the moment they get the call that they're going to tour the States was a big deal. It was, oh my God, we've broken through. The world has gotten so much bigger in reach and how you can now present your music to people via online and YouTube and so forth, that you can find these niches and find your market and cater to that. Of course, you want worldwide success.
Yeah.
You want to get as many places as possible. But America's not the only place. You can be wonderfully successful in other countries and have your base there, you know?
It was so different. I mean, getting back to the venues, I mean, just literally down the street here, the classic Marquee Club, which housed so many greats over the years. It was a small toilet, basically. It wasn't massive, but all the big bands wanted to play there and it had the prestige. And when you played the Marquee, you'd made it, even though you were playing to literally a handful of people. Whether you played a special guest slot or played it, playing the Marquee was special. And there wasn't the internet, like you say there. There wasn't the outlet to actually get your music out there. It was ground up. It was starting at the small level of bigger you would be 5,000-6,000 people.
I love places
and
like
then
that.
it went
Yeah. Paul, what would you say? So give us the name of a band that you think should be huge in the United States.
first came back. When they came back, it got bigger. The just because that for me is worth its weight.
Like nothing
Most
but
of the big
thieves.
bands have done.
There we go.
Yeah,
Like these.
You know what Glastonbury is, and it's
What did you? Was it a phone call?
No, it was an email. It's all done online now, mate.
Yeah, yeah. And he just sent a whole bunch of money to a Nigerian prince, and then you got this email. Hey, you want tickets? Yeah. Trucks, seeing people at that.
Noel Gallagher. Being a fan, and he said, and he had a few. The photo actually.
Like two.
Good point.
Yeah.
Now he was. We spent some time with Noel. Guy.
You know what was
Hilarious,
great
isn't it?
is we had a Sonic session with, it was supposed to be them both, and Liam didn't show up, so Noel showed up and sang all the Liam songs.
Sang everything.
Better than Liam did.
He's a talented man.
He
Yeah.
is.
Can't do that. We can't say that. We were like, as we were walking in, we were like,
Really hope they're not expecting performance. Really hope.
No, we've had you on twice, and I thought both times you guys sounded great, and it's just the way that Connor sings, you know, to be able to hit those that time in the is real. I mean, just to hit those notes regularly.
Well, I
But
feel
then-
sorry for him in that, like, he gets rolled out of his bunk at 8 a.m. You guys are horrible. Why are you making us do this?
Yeah.
And he rolls out. I remember once, actually, you... If you look at Exhibit A, check the size of this cup, yeah?
Right,
It's
right.
glass. It's beautiful, okay? It's about that big. You can drink it in about 5 minutes. What you got me was an industrial tin. It's huge, this canister of coffee.
That's American size.
And I didn't know, I was like, is this for everyone? Do we all get a straw and just, do we gather around it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like everyone take a sip, pass it
I
round?
think your coffee might be a little bit stronger than our coffee, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I know, like, when we get, this is one of the things I love about touring Europe is, like, you go to so many cool different cities and, like, this, the food is amazing, the coffee is pretty intense. You go somewhere like Germany, it's like, you've
yeah.
got to be careful.
Or like a classic Greek coffee, you know, if
Yeah.
you need to go down further south. But I mean, yeah, the here I find it to be too intense, but it's
No,
good.
we've had some great coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to a couple of really nice places. In fact, I've been delighted with the food, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really?
It gets a bad rap sometimes when you hear about English delicacy. Well, nothing could be further.
What was the place we went to on Friday right after the show, Nick? You took us to a place that was awesome.
Oh, Cheshire cheese. Yeah, Cheshire cheese.
Pub.
A pub.
pub.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the
That
oldest
was
pubs.
my local at university.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
that was great.
Like
guys
the
know it.
really old place with the old
Yeah,
beams and stuff.
1666. It was.
Yeah.
It's there's actually been a pub on that site since the 1300s, and then the fire happened, the Great
Yeah.
London Fire, 1666. They rebuilt, and it's been on that site ever since. And yeah, we all went and really enjoyed it. It was.
Samuel Johnson, he wrote the dictionary, the first one, apparently, used to drink there.
Really?
We were leaving.
Wine and to get into where the seats were,
Yeah.
you had to like bend down.
Yeah.
Yep.
They make you work.
Was
for
that,
it.
Yeah.
is that Gordon?
Gordon's, yeah.
Gordon's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's enough.
I'm not an alcoholic, I swear. I just know all these.
Yeah, we know every place.
Yeah, and all that.
It must be
halfway
weird
out.
to you to go to like the oldest building in the country and it not be like 30 years old for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I remember I was like, well, I can't remember where we were. We were touring around the south of America, and someone was like, "This is the oldest building in the town." Yeah. Like, how old is it? 120 years. 120.
Like, my nan's 120.
Yeah, my nan's.
There's a vast
But the
difference.
big question, did they do fish chips and mushy peas?
No, they didn't. Exactly.
I have not had the mushy peas yet.
Don't do it. Not
That's
great.
what I've heard. Everybody says they suck. Even local.
With Billy Sheehan and who was it? Billy Sheehan and trying to explain and trying to get them to eat it was so difficult.
Mushy peas sounds like something you get after a stomach virus. You know?
I would do the mushy peas.
You would?
What I couldn't do yesterday was that dried pig's blood with black something or other.
Black pudding.
Couldn't do. You know what? Like when I found out that it was like dried pig's blood or something like that.
He prefers it in its liquid form.
Yeah. Scrapple, it's just kind of like I don't know it. I just know that it's everything, and I don't tend to think of like specific body parts being in there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Have you guys tried? Have you tried haggis before?
Yes.
No, I'll do it.
How did that go
It's
for you?
horrible. But
Yeah?
we had a haggis eating contest in our show one time. We had 3 dudes who had meat sweats like you would not.
Yeah,
Remember those
competitive
guys?
eaters,
They were
yeah.
about to
That was
pass
disgusting.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, socking away this haggis.
Somebody was trying to get me to eat bone marrow last night, and I just wasn't.
Was it the guy with the cone in front of the?
Did you guys see the cone guy outside?
There's a guy that sits outside with a traffic cone.
What's he do? What's his?
Playing a musical
Oh,
instrument,
I've
which is
seen
his
that.
traffic cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need an extra band member,
He plays the cone.
You're looking for always looking for a unique sound in the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
You're looking at
Album 3.
Well, like Spoon, there was Spoon Man.
Thank you.
I don't like the name of the album. The I'm gonna download it right now.
Basically, what happened was we went back we got back from one of the festivals over summer into London, and we went to visit our record label, and they were like, well, what are you going to do for a bit? And we thought, well, let's finish touring album 2, we'll do album 3 in a year or so, whatever. And they said, let's put something out between what we got. And we said nothing. They're like, can you record and write an EP over the next couple of weeks? And we stupidly agreed to it, so we just had to rush this EP recording.
Wow.
It's wild how.
But it actually came. I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised. It's not bad.
yeah,
Well, the
It's
whole,
alright.
the whole chronology, the whole shift of the way music is parsed out and released now. I mean, you used to wait on
Well,
that
that was
album.
kind of the beauty of it. Like, and
Yeah.
like, working that quickly. So like writing it, recording it, releasing it, like all the
Sort of all the artwork
stuff.
yeah.
Like making decisions that quickly.
Does it make you more productive, or does it make you? It's the same amount of output, just parsed out
Well,
in a different way.
it makes it constantly exciting, and it
Yeah.
forces you to make decisions.
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of half the problem, like the dithering between.
Right.
This. It also made everything really creative. It's like sometimes if you write an album and then you sit on it for like a year, and then you're really essentially trying to recreate a demo that you've done like last year in the studio. This time it was like the whole recording and writing process was one, and that was I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I was into it.
Cool. Well, keep cranking it out, guys, because we're definitely fans, and we appreciate you taking your time off to
No, don't
come
be
by
silly.
here
No, it's our pleasure. All
and
good.
visit us. And when you're in the States, obviously, open invitation to come by our
be back.
studio.
We'll have a 60-gallon cup of coffee waiting for
Pizza,
you.
pizza and a coffee, please.
Breakfast pizza.
And some
And
haggis.
I want to thank Paul Anthony from Planet Rock for being here. Nice to meet you, sir.
You too.
And keep the rock alive here in the UK, and we'll do the same overseas. So we appreciate it. Let's hear it, guys. Joe and Don from Nothing But Themes. Paul Anthony, Planet Rock. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more live from London on 93.3 WMMR.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
Thank you. What's the story on that?
Welcome back to another Pierre Presents here at the Ardmore Music Hall.
What
Listen
is it?
Tuesday at 2 p.m. for Pierre Presents
Ladies and gentlemen, rival